Hello kids, your Grammar Buddy Mini is once again back at your own learning platform Learn Forward, and we are back with your grammar book, The Grammar Hub by Weathercap. Going ahead, we will be learning about articles from chapter 6 of your book. And what are articles? A and the. Yes, we'll be learning something new today. What? Let's get started. Let's see what's there in this picture, in this review exercise. What do you see? You see some pictures and they have asked you to write 3 adjectives to describe these pictures. So you have already done so many adjectives. So can you say a few adjectives for this picture? Okay, this is a beautiful, very good, beautiful bouquet. What else? Yes, this is a big bouquet. Okay. And you can say it is a colorful bouquet. Yes, I can hear that. You can say pretty also. Yes, you buy from the market, so you can say expensive also, costly also. Very good. So there are so many things, so many words. Okay, you can say costly. Right? So there are so many words that you can use to describe one particular thing. Now let's look at this. How is this tree? Yes, this is a green tree. Good. What else? Good. Some are saying big tree. To some it is looking like big. And the others who are comparing with very big banyan trees, they are saying it's a small tree. Okay, let us say small also. That is also right. And okay, so what do you see here? So many leaves. So you are saying it is leafy. Okay. What else? I can see it is a shady because when you sit under it, it's so big that it gives you shade. So I'll say shady. So there are many words that you can use to describe this tree also. Let's move ahead now and let's start our journey with degrees of comparison. So I just explained you that when we are talking about 2 nouns or more than 2 nouns, then we are making a comparison in their qualities, in their descriptions. So such words, such forms of adjectives are the degrees of comparison. And here children, there are 3 degrees of comparison. Like if you are talking of just one noun, like if I'm just talking about one, I'm saying you are a tall boy. So here I am using a positive degree. If I'm talking about 2 nouns, so I'll say Raman is taller than Mohan. That means I'm talking about 2. I'm making a comparison. Who is having more height? So I'm saying this is comparative degree. And if we have more than 2, that is 3 or more, then we say who is the tallest student in the class. That means you are so many and I want to find out the student with the maximum height. That will be the tallest. So I am making a comparison between among more than 2. So this is called the superlative degree. Positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. These are the 3 degrees of comparison of adjectives, right? So can we move ahead? We must know how to write these 3 degrees of adjectives. What you have to remember is, here we are talking about one noun or pronoun. Here we are talking about 2 nouns or pronouns, and in superlative degrees we have 3 or more than 3 nouns or pronouns. right? So this is what you must remember whenever you are using a degree of comparison. Which of these should be used, right? 1, only positive. 2, it is comparative. More than 2, it can be 3 or even more. Then you use the superlative degree. Now let's see how do we have the 3 degrees of comparison for the different adjectives. How do we form them? The first rule is we have learned so many adjectives, right? So first rule to make the comparative and superlative degrees is just add er and est. Er we add to get the comparative degree, and est we add to get the superlative degree, like kind, kinder, kindest, sweet, sweeter, sweetest, strong, stronger, strongest, and the very example I just started with was tall, taller, and tallest. Right? So many of the adjectives, they get their form like this. By adding er, we get comparative. By adding est, we get the superlative degree. Sometimes when there is already e at the end, like brave, large, wise, already e is there, so we will not add e, we will add just r. We will not add e, we will just add st for the superlative degree, because e is already there, we will not repeat. So what do we get? Brave becomes braver, bravest. Large becomes larger, largest. And wise becomes wiser, wisest. Got it? So that is also the same. The only thing is E is there, so we are not going to repeat. Now the next rule says again why. We have already learnt earlier while making nouns singular to plural, and we have done in previous class about verbs adding something when the word ends in y. Do you remember that? What is the rule, children? Y changes to I, right? So here again we will do the same thing. Lazy, you see y at the end. We will first change y into I, then add er, then add est. So it will become lazy. I will drop y and then make it IER. Then IEST. Similarly, happy. I will remove Y. Then add IER. And for the superlative degree, it will be IEST. So this is the rule for the adjectives which have Y at the end. Now, there are a few adjectives which are just 3 letters or very small sounds they have. In such cases, we repeat the last letter, then you add ER, EST. So, what you see here, children, the basic rule is you have to add ER, EST to make the comparative degree and superlative degrees respectively. But with a slight variation that you will have to remember. Simple ER, EST. Then when words already have E, we do not repeat. When there is Y at the end, we change it to I, then add ER, EST. And now we are saying we will repeat the last letter first before adding ER, EST, like big. It's a small sound, 3-letter word here. So we are repeating G first. So it becomes double G. Big, bigger, biggest. Can you see? G is repeated in both. Now hot, again we are repeating T. Hotter, hottest. Fat, again we are repeating T. Fatter, fattest. Sad, again we are repeating D here. Sadder, saddest. Right? Apart from this rule of adding ER, EST in different ways, there are a few words which just change without any rule. You will have to learn them like that only. They do not follow any pattern. Like we have good, better, best. You cannot see any pattern here. You will have to learn them. The different forms. Bad. Bad is worse, worst. Then while doing adjectives, we have learnt about how many. That means we can count. How much? That means we cannot count. That is quantity. So for much as well as many, for both we use more and most. And then we have old. Old is older, oldest also, and elder, eldest also. What is the difference? We must understand. Old, elder, eldest we say when we are talking about the siblings only. Remember this. You cannot say my cousin is elder. He is not your sibling. You cannot say my father is elder. No. For every other relation, for every other comparison, you will use old, older, oldest. But for your siblings, only for your blood relation, brother and sister, you will be using old. He is my elder brother. She is my eldest sister, like this. Okay, so this is the difference, and the forms are old, older, oldest, old, elder, eldest. Right? Can we move ahead? Okay, and the last point here to remember is there are a few words, just like here they were very small, these are rather bigger ones. You will have to remember them, and with these we do not use ER, EST, children. We add more and most before them to make them comparative and superlative degrees. How? Let's see. Beautiful. You have already heard this. More beautiful, the most beautiful. Then faithful, more faithful, most faithful. Interesting, more interesting, most interesting. Intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent. So what we see here, we are just using the word more or most to get the comparative and superlative degrees respectively. So these are the words that you will have to remember where to use more and most. I hope all these are clear to you now. All the rules I have repeated also. Let's see how much you remember and how much you have understood. Pick out the adjective and write the degree also. Let's see how much you have understood. Copper is a useful metal. So which degree is it? We are talking about only one metal. So that is positive degree. Very good. So you'll write positive here. Gold is costlier. Can you see ER is there? But more importantly, what you see here, we are talking about gold is costlier than silver. So we are talking about two metals here. So which degree is it? For two, we use comparative degree. Next, Varun is a healthy boy. Are we talking of somebody else also in this? No. So which degree is it? It's positive. Very good. Kolkata is a big city. Again, just one city we are talking about. It's positive. Good. Arun is the best player of our team. Oh, see here you are talking only about Arun. But what is the comparison to? It is comparison in the team, which is more than 2. So that means we are talking about good. That is, we are talking about superlative degree. Okay. So here, what is the adjective here only we have to underline. So that was only to explain you. Let us underline here. This is best and here it is big. Right? So we just have to pick out the adjectives. I have underlined them. Gold and silver I have circled. Please, these are not adjectives. It was just to show you that we are comparing between two. So can we move to the next? I hope you have understood this much. Okay. Are you enjoying learning grammar? Good. I'm happy to know that. Yes. Fill in the blanks with given adjective in comparative degree. They have given you, you have to use comparative degree. What's the rule for comparative degree? ER. And sometimes you have to add most. Let's see what to do where. The sun is bright, brighter. Yes, you will add only ER here. Nikita is dash then Ishan. It's intelligent. And you remember the last one we did some words. We have to add good, more intelligent than Ishan. The radio is dash than the television. So what do you see here? Loud. It is louder. The dog is dash than the cat. Friendly. It is more friendly. Next, the aeroplane is flying dash than the bird. So how is it flying? Higher. Very good. So this was about the comparative degrees. Now let's quickly recall what we have learned in today's session. We have done that adjectives can be used for comparing two or more nouns. Accordingly, we have the degrees of comparison. So for two or more people, then the 3 degrees of comparison we have learned is, first is positive degree only for one, then is comparative degree for two, and when there are more than two, that means 3 or even more, we use the superlative degree. And very importantly, we have learnt about how to form the 3 degrees of adjectives. The basic rule is ER-EST with different variations, and sometimes we use more and most before the adjective to get the different forms. So that was all. Let's see how much you have learned, how much you have captured from this session. With the help of this exercise, we are going to check out. Yes, take the correct answer. My youngest brother is a doctor. What is this colored word? This is EST sound you are getting. Good. It is superlative. Somesh is wiser. Okay, ER you could see. Very good answer. That is comparative degree. All the adjectives in the comparative degree are followed by comparative degree is always followed by than. Can you see here? Wiser than. Okay, so we must remember that whenever you are using comparative degree, immediately after that we use the word than. Okay, and when you are using superlative degree, this is comparative degree plus than. And when you are using superlative degree, you will use the before superlative degree. So it will be the plus superlative degree. Okay, like the best, the youngest. Can you? This is wiser than. So this is comparative. All the adjectives in comparative degree are followed by than. And the superlative degree of bad is, we learned the different forms also. So bad was worse and worst. So this is the superlative degree. Please remember this also. Comparative is always followed by than, and superlative always comes after the word the. That means the is used before superlative degree. So let's see what's in the next exercise. Complete each sentence with the correct degree now. I had a dash time in the painting class than I had in the mathematics class. So here we are talking about the two classes. It's a comparative degree, harder time. And then can you see here than also we are using to make comparison. My brother has dash fingers than. Again it is a comparative degree, longer. Good. The second cake I made was dash than the first. Again, this is very good, nicer. Emma made the dash cake of all. So that means more than two. And can you see here the? So it is always before the superlative degree, best. She is the dash girl in our class. So that means you are making a comparison in the whole class. So that is prettiest, good. Of all the pots, Sam has the dash shaped pot. See here the, and they are talking of all the pots. So the superlative degree is funniest, very good. This is the dash meal I have ever eaten. You have eaten so many meals and you are just making a comparison with all of them. So this is, the tells you it is the superlative degree. So most delicious. He looks dash today than yesterday. Again it is comparative degree. So this is more handsome. So was that interesting to learn about the different degrees of comparison? I hope you can just try them all amongst your friends with different qualities, isn't it? Use the different describing words, make comparisons between your friends or among all of you and see which degree to be used where. I hope you'll be excitingly waiting for more sessions in grammar. Till then, happy learning.